What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of TK's Brew. I'm your host, DJ Kino. We got a very special guest in the building. Everybody give it up for DJ Blitz.
What's up, guys? How are y'all?
What's good? What's good? Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me.
Now, I want to give you a quick little, thank you, because you were one of the few DJs who actually, shouted me out or, came to me on Instagram and, was like, hey, keep doing the podcast. I like it. Which I was like, damn, it's nice to hear, people are actually listening to this shit.
It's dope, man.
Yeah.
I've been watching since probably 3 or 4 episodes in, kind of checking everything out. And we've talked when we've been out and stuff. Mm-hmm. It's dope. It's dope to see, especially, I know most of the people that are on here and being able to kind of catch up with them without actually seeing them, right? Because we're all busy. Yeah. And they give out their inputs and everything else about it. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. What's your favorite episode so far?
I really honestly like the C West episode.
Really?
It's really cool because he talks more about the network. And that's I'm live or die about the network. That's one of my biggest things is, especially in this industry. Mm-hmm. That'll make you or break you. And fast. Super fast.
And we were just hinting on that earlier. You've been your networking skills, and another thing that I'm excited about this podcast is we're not going to talk just about DJing. We're going to talk about business stuff because throughout your entire lifetime, how many businesses have you owned?
I have had probably 12 or 13 different businesses. As far as in the industry, I've had 1, 2, 3. I've owned not all at one time, but I've owned 6 or 7 different clubs.
God damn. Bro.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and I've never been really vocal about it, or the newer generation doesn't know because it was a long time ago, right?
Yeah.
Showing my age here, but
can you stop, please? We're not doing this episode. He's like the mascot of this podcast.
What's up?
He's weird, bro. You gotta show some love to the OB. It's OB. But that's what's up, bro. That's crazy. But before we talk about any of that, I wanted to actually talk about something completely 180ing this whole conversation is your sneakers. Uh-huh. Yeah. I wanted to touch base with that because I never get to talk about sneakers, and you're the guy to talk about sneakers with.
I'm a pretty big sneakerhead.
A little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
What, you got an entire wall?
I do have a whole wall. I'm sponsored by the shoe cases that I have.
No shit.
Yeah, I bought so many of them. They were like, dude, we need content for our wall.
Yo, facts.
Yeah, I have 160 pairs of sneakers, mostly Jordans.
Damn.
Yeah. I like to collect things.
Yeah.
I started collecting fitteds too, and now I have 180 fitteds.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's bad. I think I'm the problem, you know?
Yeah, a little bit.
It's super bad. But at least I have a fitted for every pair of shoes I have. So.
Yeah. God damn, really?
Yeah, I'll start posting that wall soon.
Yeah. It got bigger?
I'm working on the wall. I'm actually working on the second wall in my bedroom. And then my fitted storage.
You ever thought about selling or retail? Do you retail at all?
I don't actually. If I like the shoe, I'm gonna get it. I have a bunch of plugs all over. White Mike, the plug on Instagram.
I'm gonna follow you. I need some.
Yeah, and then Demo.
Demo?
No, not Demo here.
He's from
Houston.
I was like, what? I didn't know that.
So both of them are normally my pretty go-to plugs.
Yeah.
A lot of them sell to ball players, so they normally ask me, and then they ask the ball players if I want them. So
see, that's live.
Yeah.
So what's your I know you got probably a top 3, or do you have a top 3? You probably
I do have a top 3.
You do?
My Travis Scott SBs are my go-to. I've never worn these, but I have the friends and family trophy rooms. So I never put them on. They just sit in the display case.
Yeah.
Definitely my favorite shoe. What's my other one? I have the Frags. I have the Frag Highs, and I wore them one time in Vegas, and that's it. I think that's my other favorite shoe.
Jesus. That's live, bro. How much money do you think you've spent on sneakers alone?
Easily, because I'm super unlucky on the app. I probably spent $150,000 on shoes.
God damn. That's a house payment.
It is.
No, it's a house. That's not a payment. That's a house.
It's a whole house.
That's a whole ass house.
It's a whole ass house
of shoes, bro.
If I would do it again, I want to say no, but I probably say
You're like, this isn't a good idea, but fuck, yeah, that should look fire. That's wild, man. What got you into like just like that, or just like wanting to collect things?
I've been a collector my whole life, man. Like toys, like games. Really? Like I've always been that person.
Yeah.
Shoes, man. What got me into shoes? Honestly, straight up answer. I used to be really big into cars and building cars, and I thought it would be the cheaper alternative to doing a car. Yeah. But it wasn't, for me at least. You know, I ended up spending about the same amount. I've actually slowed down lately because I'm building another car. Yeah. But yeah, that was like my deterrent. I was like, yo, I gotta quit spending money on car parts and building cars and stuff. I'm gonna switch to this, but not the play. Spent just about the most.
How many cars you got?
I have two. I have an X5 and then I have a M3 that I'm building. I'm actually about to pick it up after this interview.
Jesus. You just got a lot of shit.
I collect things. Yeah.
Okay, so besides cars and shoes, what and businesses? I mean, fuck, you're basically collecting businesses.
I collect businesses. Goddamn. I'm trying to at least.
Yeah. What else? What else is there? Anything else?
Honestly, now I'm always working. I work all the time. Like I wake up no matter what, as much as it sucks, even if I'm DJing. Mm-hmm. I wake up at 7:30, 8 a.m. every day.
Yeah, because like I told him 12:30, and this man texted me just like off the dot at 12, and I was like, "You see, you're the okay." I want to tell you this. I want to say thank you. You're the only DJ on this planet who showed up on the dot. Every other DJ is like, no offense to y'all who have been on this podcast, but y'all know who you are. You've been like an hour and a half late, 30 minutes, 45 minutes late. And I'm just like, there's no point in planning.
My day is just so jam packed. Like, my weeks are jam packed. Like I wake up, everybody that's known me after COVID, like when DJing wasn't around, I started working at Amazon. I worked for Amazon because I was screwed, right? Like when none of us were making any money. Yeah. I actually got on to deliver, and a lot of people don't know this about me. I went like almost dead broke during COVID. So I applied to Amazon to just deliver for $15 an hour. Damn. And 4 months later, I ended up being the GM.
Damn.
So now I'm the GM for that company. I'm either there or on call with them 7 days a week. Love the job. Shout out to Eddie who believed in me to run that, to believe into a DJ that didn't have anything going on, and now I run his business for him. Been doing it for almost 3 years now.
I mean, like that's just sucked about like look. I mean, for me, I wasn't too bad. I kind of got my start literally 4 or 5 months out of bars at Marcus, and then COVID came. Shit. So it was like this whole little. Granted, they weren't paying shit, so it wasn't even that big a deal. But back at the time, little me, I was like, damn, this is the shit, fucking beginner DJ, and then just.
Oh, and it was horrible.
And it was just done. Everything was gone.
It was really, really bad. I probably had the biggest week I've ever had DJing in Houston. Yeah. That week. And I got home and like COVID was like ramping up and I was like, watch, we're going to shut down this week. Yep. And then literally like the next day shut down. Shit. Yeah, it was a struggle for sure trying to come back after that. But then came back to it. I told myself I wasn't going to come back. I was like, I'm not going to DJ. I'm just going to do this. But I just like kept having that urge to be in front of people and like perform and stuff. So
you did some things, right?
Yeah.
Some after parties or whatever.
Yeah. I cut it dry, period. I cut it dry. I quit drinking.
Oh, nice.
I like just walked away from it completely. Like I was like ready to just start like the next chapter.
Yeah.
But like in the back of my head, I just missed it, man. Like it's been a part of me. I mean, I've been DJing 12, 13 years, and like minus a little breaks here and there, but it's just a part of me. I love the culture. I love the bars. I love like everything about it, the business aspect of it. Yeah. Like, I love everything about it. So it was like always calling me to come back.
Yeah. So I know it's a cliche ass question that many of y'all have said and whatever about it on this podcast, but like I genuinely am interested in most people like knowing like what made you want to do it? Like what was that spark?
So I was it like 23, 24. Yeah. And I don't know, a lot of people don't know this either. Me and LX are best friends. We've been best friends for a long time. Yeah. He was DJing at Terrace 59 and he invited me out. Right. And I really rarely go downtown or anything. And I went with him. And it was like this crazy, like experience. For y'all who don't know LX or do know him, he's an amazing DJ, probably one of the best DJs in town.
Julian Albert.
Yeah, he's sick, man. So I went to see him, and like the vibe he just created in this bar. Like I've gone to bars before, and like there was DJs playing music, but like they were there for him. Like he just created this like crazy vibe. And literally the next day, like we were riding home, and I was like, dude, I gotta do this. Like I want to do this. It was like a passion. He was like, dude, I'll show you, man. Like just grab the stuff, and we'll figure it out. So next day, I bought Techniques. I bought the Rain 56 mixer.
Shit.
Yeah, it was old school. Bought that, and then I instantly quit my job as a manager at Best Buy without knowing how to DJ.
Yo.
Yeah.
That's live.
So, of course, it was a little bit harder than I thought it was, right? Yeah. So, I ended up having to move back in with my mom. And I remember I was, like, in the living room. Mom would, like, pass me every day, and she was like, get your job back. What are you doing? You suck. She would tell me that. She was like, you're horrible. What are you doing? Wow. And I was like, no, I'm going to do this. Mom, I want to figure it out.
Damn. Thanks, Mom.
I was like, yeah, she literally was like, son, what are you doing?
You suck.
You suck. You got a really good job. And I was like, I'm going to figure it out, Mom. I swear I will.
Yo, believe in me.
Yeah, I was like, please.
Come on.
I was so relieved. I remember when I got my first gig, it was at Ivy Lounge, I guess Chupacabra now. It used to be Ivy Lounge. It used to be a super hood bar. I got my first gig on a Sunday for $40 a gig.
Holy shit.
Parking was like 15, you know, so like I'm already almost in the hole just going.
Yeah.
So that was a big relief for me. And I finally told Mom, I was like, yo, Mom, I'm getting paid. I didn't tell her how much I was getting paid. I was like, yo, Mom, I finally got a paid gig. I'm making it.
She's like, it's fucking final.
Yeah, I know, right? She's like, when are you moving out?
Hey, give me like 3 years.
Right. I'll get there eventually. Shit.
Yeah. So that's how it all started. Just
man, I saw LX and I was just like, man, like, and I'm honestly like, I've seen glimpses of people be, you know, like resident DJs be like as good as LX. Like just the vibe he creates. He was just a vibe. Like he was an experience. Like he was a great DJ, but like, I guess that's kind of what set the tone for me too. Is like you could be an amazing DJ, but if you're like to yourself and like closed off, like people are never gonna know you or get to know you.
Nah, facts.
You know, and like he was just talking to everybody, and like he was DJing, he was like cool with everyone. Like he was just a vibe. Like, and I always told myself, like, you know, throughout my whole career, like, you know, good days and bad days, but for the most part, talk to everybody. You know, I'll take requests whether I don't want to.
That's a lot, man.
Yeah.
I respect that because I do have my days where I feel like I'm just in a bitchy ass mood and I just don't want to fuck with anybody.
Yeah.
Maybe just because like the people I'm around are just hella fucking annoying and a lot of them are on Rainy. And it's just a bunch of like it's always those bachelorettes or those birthdays or those girls and guys that just think they like own the whole fucking city because they're out of towners.
Right.
And I get it. But yeah, sometimes I'm just like, bro, just don't fucking talk to me.
I had more faith in people when I started DJing in Houston. Like when people would come up, like when people would come up and like have like a request.
Yeah.
And like they would, probably 90% of the time, like if somebody had a request, I was like, yo, that's hot. Like that would be fire right now. Like I'm like, yo, like it was like refreshing to actually have people that knew music, right?
Yeah.
So that like changed my whole thought process on the request thing because like I was just having like they would come up with some crazy something I hadn't heard of in like forever, and I'm like, yo, that would hit right now.
Because sometimes you get a little brain fart. Like I get brain farts too. Like I'll be like, you can always tell if a DJ does this. He's like DJing and he looks up and he's just like, bro, what song is that? Like what song is that? Fuck. And then some dude comes or girl, whatever, comes up and it's not Bad Bunny. And it's something that like is like, oh shit, I remember that song. You're like, yo, that was a good one.
Yeah.
I got you. Yeah, see that doesn't.
That's always like so real, like refreshing for me to like hear somebody that just likes music, enjoys music, knows music, you know? Instead of like, yo, Bad Bunny. Or if I'm playing Bad Bunny and they're requesting Bad Bunny, I'm like, yo.
Yo, yesterday, literally at Umbar, like I'm talking Wednesday night, it's raining, it's a fucking hurricane yesterday, and then I'm just like, I haven't got a single request. I had 2 requests yesterday, and you can already guess what one of them was.
Bad Bunny.
I was just like, shit, I was like, I couldn't get away one day. I couldn't get one day without it.
It was like a full ass storm too.
Bro, yes. I remember I'm just playing, and we're playing outside at Umbar, and I just look to the left, and I'm just like, oh, that's a hurricane. It's just pouring down, and everybody's like, oh, they're getting closer to me now because they have to be inside. And I was like, oh, fuck. All right, well, this is how I guess I'm gonna be here all night. Whatever.
Right.
But that's wild. But so going on your businesses, I want to talk about that for a little bit.
Okay.
What was your first business like, and how was it like what was the motivation, what was the ideas to start it?
So I actually look at DJing as my first business, right? Like,
yeah, true.
Like I was really excited to get my first gigs, and I never really ever looked at DJing as a business.
Yeah.
Like the first couple of years, right? Like it was always just something fun. I was getting paid. When I started making the transition, I was like, yo, man, like this is something, like, you know, I'm actually making pretty good money with this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how can I improve on this as a business, right?
Yeah.
Of course, get better at DJing, right? Of course, you know, get better tracks, all that kind of stuff. I was like, man, I need to build my network in this whole area, right? Like, I want to be able to play. At the time, I was like, oh, I want to play whatever format. Like, I want to be able to go to Latin club, play a Latin club. I want to go to hip hop club, play a hip hop club.
Yeah.
I want to go to open format clubs and just knock it out of the park. So I started going to like everybody's spot. Like I would just go, like if I was off, like I would go and I would support and get bottles and buy drinks and meet whoever the GM was or the owner was and start talking to him. I'm like, yo, man, I would really appreciate it. You know, everybody goes through, give me like a Tuesday. Yeah. I just want to get in, you know? So that eventually led into me playing at like a lot of the bigger spots in Austin. Mm-hmm. Like at the time, JD, who's actually my business partner now, gave my first gig at Canvas. And then just so happened 2 weeks after I started, the resident DJ at Phoenix just quit. Yeah. And Phoenix was, I don't know if you know what Phoenix was, but it was like, held like 1,000 people. It was huge. Yeah. It was on West 5th.
On West 5th?
Yeah. It was like on 5th Street, like the whole warehouse district.
Oh, yeah.
And that was like the spot. That was like the size of Mayfair kind of deal.
Okay.
It was like over there, right? So he quit, and honestly, JD being like the coolest person I ever met, he literally told me, he was like, they need a DJ on Saturday. I'll move you to Friday. You have to play there. Yeah. As the competing club owner. Yeah. Was like, you have to play there. Like, you'll crush that place.
That's pretty loud.
It was probably like the coolest thing ever. You never see that.
You hear that? You hear anything like, oh, you like they'll be like, oh, I heard you. I saw you talk to them. Oh, you're fired.
You're fired.
Yeah, easily.
JD was literally like, I will move your day so you can still work here.
That's a dope ass dude.
And I already talked to them, and you're gonna work next week.
That's
coolest
nice.
thing.
Yeah,
coolest thing ever. So I ended up playing one day there, and they're like, you dude, you're the resident on Saturdays.
That's live.
It was like super cool. So I got in with them, and it was Sky who actually owned that place. Dope spot. But yeah, I mean, getting back on track. So DJing was my first business. I needed to market correctly. I needed to build a fan base. I needed to make sure that I could pack a club by myself. Like, those were all the things that went through my mind. Right? Like, I don't want to just show up and not have anything but music to back me.
I noticed when you said that, like, so back in the day, was it more like DJ promoters? Like, y'all were the promoters?
We were everything.
Yeah.
Like, we had to do, it wasn't really said, but you weren't getting booked unless people were coming to see you.
I feel like nowadays it's definitely like maybe we're a little lazier, but we're definitely just more DJs. We don't do a lot of promoting anymore. And I feel like back in the day, like with Nice, and even when CRG was on here too, they were all talking about like, yo, we were the ones who packed the place and DJ.
You had to, yeah. Like, it's crazy how it shifted, especially here in Austin, right? Like, Austin is so promoter driven now.
Insanely.
So like, if you don't have a promoter at your spot, the spot's probably gonna be dead. Like, for the most part, like, unless you're booking, and honestly, and like, no offense to any other DJs or anybody, but unless you're booking like a CRG that has a following, I have a following. Nice had a huge following. Like, unless you had like DJs that have like these crazy big followings, you have to have a promoter now.
The thing is, those DJs that you just mentioned they were the promoters in the beginning.
Right.
So they're like, I mean, CRG was literally saying on this podcast how you'd go and just buy bottles and just book out sections on his own. Yep. Which I can't say I've done it, which I should be, but it's also just, we got a lot going on as well, but
true.
And that's not something we're
necessarily it's just a different, it was a different time, right? Yeah. Like I remember I mean, shit, I remember being with CRG at clubs in San Antonio and us like hustling to get our friends in. And, that's where I met CRG. I met CRG through Duano way back in the day. And it's like, and it's cool seeing everybody come up. It's like the coolest thing ever to see like who put people on and where they're at now. And like the people that put me on, like where they're at now. Yeah. Like I'm really good friends with DJ Silver, Jason Aldean's DJ. Yeah. And him too. Like Silver would go to a club and like the whole city would literally go there. He was like it when I was going out. Like he will pack whatever spot, he'll play whatever format. Like he'll go Shiners, Saloon. Yeah. He'll play a full country set back before like there was even really country DJs. He would just go crush a country set. And like that place would be packed like on a Wednesday.
That's live, bro.
Yeah, it's so wild. But that's just the difference now. And now like you have like everything's so influencer based and Instagram based. And you have like all these promoters that, right? Like they all say it, everybody moves the city, right? Like wherever they're at, like all the big promoters, wherever they're going to be at, they'll bring 50, 100 people, right? So the sweet spot was, and me and C West were talking about this after he did his, like me and him did play together one night. And I had never worked with a promoter in town, like ever. I just came back to DJ and I was doing my own thing. Yeah. Me and him did play. And me and him had we've known each other, but we never really knew each other. We were talking there. Yeah. And we ended up blowing play out the water. Like it was like, there was no contest on the street. Like it was crazy. Probably the only contest was across the street with CRG, right?
A key. Yeah. Fucking. He don't need one. He doesn't need a promoter at all. Yeah. It's CRG.
Exactly.
It's going to be packed.
Exactly. So, no, I know. It's amazing. Yeah. So we ended up, first time with a promoter, it was me and C West. It's like insane. Like line, like past Canopy, like on a Friday, and Fridays are always hit or miss, right? So it's like down the street. We like blow it out the water. We're all having a good time, and I was like, man, this promoter thing, like this is kind of it. Like to have a host, like yeah, it's crazy. It's just so wild, man. And then you're having all the other promoters come out and like other people that are influencers like downtown and big followings, and it's just cool. I mean, it's just a different time, right?
But now it just switched. So like, because I haven't been in Austin that long, and I remember when I was at Concrete on West, I was telling Troy, I was like, yo, we should get a promoter for these nights, or a promoter for this, a promoter for that, and they were like, it was just so new. But it's not new. It's new. It's not new in Houston, and that's where I'm from originally. Right. So it's just newish to Austin, I feel. And now it's like there's a new promoter every other damn week.
True.
Which is crazy. But it's like you need it. Like the thing is, like every single spot that you see has a promoter, and these promoters are big, and some of these guys are getting big overnight. Like damn near. Their places are packed.
Yeah, it's like wall to wall slams.
Yeah, doesn't make any sense. Slammed.
It's I don't know. Like I said, I think it's just a new generation, right? Like everybody, I don't know. It's just so different now. It's cool. Don't get me wrong. It's like super cool. I mean, even at Pop, like look at Pop for instance.
Yeah, I gave y'all the flowers. I was playing last Friday at Play as nobody in Play, and a Play's gonna come back. I'm not dissing Play, but it's just. I was like looking at Pop because it used to be the opposite for so long. It was Play was the spot. Pop was kind of like a little dead. And then Pop just blew the fuck up. And I was like, you know what? They deserve it.
It's like, yeah, I mean.
And the renovations out there was crazy.
Thank you. Yeah, we still have a lot more coming, man. It's just different, man. Like I said, it's a different time. Like, but that's like the biggest thing to show what promoters can do, right? Like, bought into Pop. Pop needed some upgrading, needed to get back. Like, I mean, Pop's been there for 9 years. It's one of the first bars out there, right?
It's been there forever.
Bought in, needed to update it, needed to get like the younger crowd back in there. Started reaching out to, the CUS, the Choppas, like all of them to try to get something going. Swaggies and all them. And I mean, my first promoter was Dex and Derek on Sundays. Oh, yeah. My Sunday I used to do very low. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Now Sundays, I mean, you get there at 8, and you might not get a table.
Nah.
Like, and it's just wall to wall slam, and that's shout out to them, man. Like, it's crazy in there, and it's fun. Like, I haven't had like I haven't had a bad night. Like, even if it might be slower because of weather or whatever, like, just the people that come out, like, all the promoters are on their shit. It's awesome. It's really cool to see.
And, like, they always show love, too, which is nice, especially to the DJs, which I love that. And a little too much love sometimes. Them damn bottles, but...
That's one thing about Austin that's super cool now is, like, the love everybody shows. Like, again, being older, right? Hurt a little bit to say that, but being older, like, I came up from a different time. It was like, it was all you. Like, you don't help nobody. You don't help nobody move anywhere because if you help that person, they're going to take your gig tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's how it was. Like, that was my mentality for years, man. And I hate to say it now. Now I try to show love to everybody all the time.
You was a gatekeeper?
I was a gatekeeper, man. Damn. But it was just different. There was not a lot of spots, like the main spots to be into. Like, now, you know, it's switched. There's not enough DJs to play spots now. No. Especially in Austin. Austin's one of the few places like that.
And everything's turning to a damn condo. Bars are dying.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's true. Yeah.
Exactly. So now what I really like for the city and what changed me a lot, actually, is the love everybody shows. Like, even if promoters aren't working on a certain night, they'll go show other promoters love and bring their crowds out to help them. You know, same with DJs. DJs, if they're off, they're out and they're going to go see somebody else and, like, help them out and blow them up and vibe. Yeah. It's so cool, man. Austin's, like, in a really cool place right now, and we're just getting better. So...
Yeah, and that's why I say to myself too. I was like, I wouldn't want to be in another city starting out. This is like the perfect city to start out as a DJ because you're gonna find you can go in any bar for the most part. Because I remember when I came out here in the beginning, I even shout out Nice on this one. This man came up, I was like, "Oh, what's up, bro? I'm a DJ San Marcos." He's like, "All right." And that was it. And then later on, we became homies, and I told him that story, and he was like, "Oh, well, you wasn't shit back then."
My man, Nice.
But but that's just like it here. Definitely, like I've had a lot of people from San Marcos because that's like almost the beginning of the beginning for a lot of college DJs. They come out and they show love, and like I say hi, I give them advice. Another guy's gonna give them advice. They're not gonna just shit on these people.
Right.
Which I do love because a lot of like in Houston or Dallas or anywhere, especially Dallas, but y'all, they won't even give you like a second look. Yeah. Sometimes.
And honestly, it was like that here, man. Like you came at like that perfect time for like the culture shift.
I feel like that COVID made everyone humble.
It did. Yeah, everybody was starving.
Everyone was humble. Second, right? Like, man, maybe I should be nice to people.
Yeah, everybody was starving for a second, so now everybody's trying to help everybody.
Thanks. That's funny.
But yeah, no, man, it's super cool. And like, I'll be the first one to say, like, I definitely was a gatekeeper. Yeah. That's how I was brought up. That's how the culture was back then. Yeah. But so many more opportunities just open up when you like bring people up. Mm-hmm. And I'm noticing that even more now, you know, now that I'm slowly transitioning, you know, eventually, hopefully transition out of DJing and just full-time operations and owner. Watching all the guys like I'm able to like book and like bring up that have been around for a while that haven't got the opportunities like on West, right? That I've known have been great DJs and they just have never got that chance to like shine, and to like coach them and stuff. It's cool. It's like a really cool like flip side of it. Yeah. You know, it's like honestly like what Osh has been doing, right? Like Osh was a monster DJ back in the day. Yeah. Probably one of the only people that are older than me. Osh.
Shout out DJ Bombay.
Yeah. But yeah, man, like what he's built with that team, and you know, he was on the DJs. Like, I mean, he'll walk in and he'll tell you if you're being lazy. You know what I'm saying? Because he's done it. He's been there. You know.
He came up to me at Cheers my first night and was like, "Yeah, don't play that." First night in, first day on Dirty like ever, and just was like, "Yeah, bro, nah." Don't play that bullshit.
That's not the
vibe. That's not the vibe. Yeah. I was like, sorry, my bad.
But it's cool. I mean, and like when you see owners like that and like people that are invested in stuff like that, like that have been in your shoes, right? It's just like, you know, owners that were bartenders or owners that were in security or like, they're like, know that aspect of it. Yeah. So like to learn from them or to get coached by them is huge, you know, like, I mean, Boomba played everywhere, man. He had every single residency. I used to hate him because he would work Monday through Sunday and he'd be at every hottest spot ever.
See, I can't imagine it because I've only seen him as the owner,
right?
You know, so I can't imagine him like being just the DJ. Yeah, like because I just wasn't in that time period, but that would have been crazy to see.
It's super cool, man. He was a monster, dude. Yeah, he was a monster DJ. And I mean, even if you catch him when he's having a couple drinks, you know what I'm saying? You can watch him start scratching and stuff, and you can like tell you're like, yo, the man's cold.
That man, because like he did that. He does it all the time at Voodoo. Every time like some big ass artists come in, he'll just like after hours they'll be just like starting scratching and shit, doing some art, and I'm like, damn, this motherfucker.
We used to do that a lot at the other spot they owned, that Groove on 5th.
Oh, shit.
We would all kind of hang out after hours and just vibe and chill. Yeah, it was cool.
That's live. That's dope. Having all those friends together and just practicing. Basically, damn near y'all just showing off.
Yeah,
See, that's fun.
It's fun.
Hell yeah, man. Well, I think we asked the question. We got a little off.
We did get off.
As fuck, but it's cool because it was questions I was gonna ask anyways. But back to the business. What was your first business?
My actual business, I actually owned Buka Lounge.
Okay.
And that was on 5th Street. It was right next to Groove at the time, or Suite 101, depending on how old you are.
And that was the warehouse.
The warehouse district.
Okay.
Yeah, so it used to be Prague before that.
Mm-hmm.
And basement bar.
Yeah.
So like you go downstairs and it's like a big ass. I mean, it holds 400 something people down there.
Is that where Kingdom is now?
No, this is the street before that, like closer towards.
Oh, okay.
Closer on the other side of Congress.
I think they're opening something new there soon.
Possibly. Yeah.
From what I've heard.
Yeah. So we'll see. But yeah, so that I used to own that spot. I had the mansion, which is off 290, like going towards Houston. I had that one too. I got it at the same time.
Oh yeah.
Buka, man, like my very first spot, I made a ton of mistakes. I just got the opportunity because I actually used to DJ for the guy who owned the building.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So he was like, "Do you want to partner with me on this?"
Yeah.
Alex, Uncle Alex. I mean, if you know the name, y'all know him. He helped me with everything, man. He walked me through the whole process on opening a club and getting all that stuff. And I had just known the DJ stuff, and that's it. And we did well. I didn't lose my ass, so we did all right. We had it for about 2 years, and we ended up selling. So did that, and then I got on with Concrete, man, and like kind of put the businesses on the backseat because I was traveling so much. And then now I kind of came back with some force. I have Parlay House now. Yeah. One of the owner investors there. And then I kind of transitioned into pop lately. That's what everybody's been talking. And then I actually have Reset that's going to open right behind Parlay House, which is an arcade bar.
That's going to be sick.
Yeah, I can't wait. It's coming together like really, really well.
Yeah.
It's cool to have something out. I was really worried about having something outside of downtown. Because downtown is like all I knew, right?
It's tough. I mean, but like where you're at, Manchac, that's a good spot too.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
They do like downtown numbers in that area.
But it's just like they're just a different crowd.
It's a different crowd. Yeah.
Absolutely different crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's super cool. I mean, it's a bunch of neighborhoods. Yeah. It's like everybody who doesn't want to go downtown will like, that's what Parlay is basically.
Your mom and dad, your uncles, your tias, like all that.
Everybody's there kicking
posting
it.
Up in there. I remember one time I went there, I was with a friend, and it was definitely like, I was looking around like everyone's a little older, but like everyone's just vibing out. It was chilling. It was good.
It's a good vibe. It's honestly, Fridays and Saturdays are getting more like clubby, crazy.
Yeah. Out
there. It's finally, I mean, we're hitting our year on Sunday, so Sunday's our year. We're doing our party. It's been a year, yeah.
Holy shit.
So it's been a year, so year on Sunday, so we're actually kind of getting our identity out there in South Austin. So it's doing really well, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like on a bunch of these podcasts, like a bunch of DJs are talking about like where they want to be at and their transition into being like a headliner and stuff like that. And I went through that crossroad of where like what I wanted to do, right?
Yeah.
God. On where I wanted to be. And of course, headliner has always been the dream, right? That's like the dream for every DJ. I got so like wrapped up in the business of like the business of DJing and bars and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, man, I've done the traveling thing on like a low scale for 5 years with Concrete. Mm-hmm. And it just wasn't for me, like being away from family and, loved ones and stuff. It's like, it's tough. It's really hard. Like that's a whole other angle. You don't really get to see that part of it. Right.
Yeah.
Living out of hotel rooms. I was like, if I can make just as much money being at home and still being involved with it, right, and not have a shelf life as a DJ, right, even though we have an extended shelf life, but if I could do all that and still be involved in everything, like I'd rather go that route. So I just started, like shifting my life towards being able to be in the entertainment district and like entertainment industry and owning bars and stuff like that. And honestly, like I don't regret anything. It's awesome.
Yeah.
So
that's dope, man. Cause I know like traveling, and I was gonna hit that too. Cause like I asked CRG the same question, and I want to kind of hit you because you were like, you're talking about how you're just like when you got here, you're like, yeah, I gotta go through my phone. I got all these texts, and it's like, how is it on your brain? How's your mental?
So,
because I know that's a lot of just.
It's a lot of stuff, right? Like I have Amazon I got to deal with, right, and then I have all 3 bars and the construction of one.
Do you have a construction job too?
Well, no, the construction of the bar.
Oh, yeah, okay. I was like, God damn.
Getting the construction of the bar set up. So it's just, I mean, trying to maintain everything. You know, now dealing with DJs. Yeah. Right. So and then booking myself plus DJs plus running a DJ schedule plus dealing with promoters. Yeah. And going through that whole list. It's a lot, but I honestly like it. Like I like being busy. Yeah. You know, like it like keeps me motivated and like I like going out and then I get to support everybody, which I book, you know, like if I book Fed or if I book you and you don't work, like you're not working at one of my spots, I'll go see you and like chop it up with you. And it just builds on the culture. Yeah. So that's cool. That's
what's up, man. Cause yeah, I know it could be a lot, but I feel you on that too. Cause like if my phone's not blowing up, I feel like something's wrong.
I feel like I'm not doing enough. Yeah. If I'm not like crazy busy to where I'm stressed out, I feel like I'm not doing enough.
Yeah, and like if I have a day where I'm just sitting down, like a lot of people like play video games and shit. I can't play video games.
I used to be that huge. Really? I can't do it no more. I'm like nonstop. Nah, like if I sit at home for a little bit, I like feel weird because I'm not doing something. It's not cool.
Yeah, it's not. I bought this whole ass couch and like I'm literally here for like 30 minutes just chilling. I'm always outside doing something, or I have to like do just something better, you know, because it just. Being stuck and stagnant is just not, it's not the vibe.
This is the time to do it too, man. Like, I always wish I was hustling as hard as I'm hustling now when I was younger, DJ. Yeah. Like, I was trying and, like, I had some good stuff happen to me, of course, but, like, if I were to grind like I'm grinding now, then, I mean, shit, sky's the limit, you know?
Exactly. So, yeah. But, I mean, you're already doing good. You already said, like, you bought, like, I mean, you were my age and you already had 3 businesses? Yeah. That's crazy, bro.
Yeah, it was definitely a crazy time. Yeah. And I had stopped DJing for about 2 years just to run all that stuff. Yeah. And now I'm doing it while I'm DJing. So, just different stuff, man. Like, it's just cool. Yeah. I love the industry. I love everything about it. I love seeing everybody come up, just, you know, overall with everything, man. Yeah. It's cool watching y'all get, like, it's cool hearing y'all get better as DJs and then working at, like, better and better spots. It's cool to see that, too.
Yeah, my goal is I'm trying to get out of it. Like, when you talk about Houston and Dallas, and you want to say, can you stop? Bro,
you're stealing my thunder right now.
God damn. Obi, come here. Jesus. You give me anxiety.
As you knock everything over.
I know. He like knocked his camera like he's gonna knock it. Yeah. Oh, he missed it. No, don't redo it. This is a bloopers. Yeah, he makes the show funny. You know, we talking about serious shit sometimes, and he just
destroying indestructible bones over there.
You hear that from a mile away. I don't even remember what I was talking about. Oh yeah, so I'm starting to get booked in Houston and Dallas now too, and that's the whole thing with the traveling. And just like the trying to maintain all that, I got lucky because like, my girl is in Dallas, so I chill and stay there. Yeah. And my family's from Houston, so I just stay with my mom and dad when I'm there, so I don't have to worry about hotels and shit. But then you got like other things, like I think, you know, shout out to Steezy, we'll get you on here one day. But he's going to Nebraska, and like he was like, hey bro, come to Nebraska. And I'm like, the sky's the limit with this DJ shit. Like, you know why? You don't even have to be subjected to Texas. So I'm gonna go get a plane ticket and go to Nebraska and go fucking network in Omaha. Yeah. You know? And it's just like all over the place.
Your biggest thing, dude, like with any of this is your network. Like your network takes you so far. Like when C-West was talking, like every word that was coming out of his mouth is the truth. Like you don't know, like whoever you're helping now, if they're like you don't really know them or you think they're nobody, and then they end up blowing up and they're somebody crazy. Exactly. Like for instance, Buck, I'm gonna put you on blast. Buck Rogers moved here, right, and he was like searching for gigs, right. I didn't know who Buck was at the time. I was playing at Nook. He came through. He was like in the crowd. He was like, "Yo, man." He was like, "I'm feeling your vibe. Like, can we chat? Like chit chat for a little bit?" I was like, "Yeah, man. Like, of course." He comes up and it's like the end of the night. It's like 2. So he comes up to DJ Blitz. Me and him are talking. He's like, yeah, man, I'm really trying to get in here. I just moved. And I'm like, yeah, man, like I'll try to set you up. Like I want to listen to some of your stuff. He like sent me stuff. Start like researching who Buck was. And I'm like, oh shit, you know?
Shit. Yeah.
So I started plugging him in and I mean, so look at Buck now. I mean, Buck's the man.
That man, yo, he's up there on the top tier, like type DJs. In my opinion,
he's a monster, dude. He's an absolute monster, and he's like the coolest, humblest person still to this day.
Yeah,
like he'll come, like work at my spots, like even if he has like a busy full schedule, he'll like try to make time to work at any of my spots or like come show love. Like me and Buck, like that's just been like a really cool relationship overall. So I mean, it just like pays it forward, you know, like whoever you talk to, whoever you help, you never know if they're going to be the next biggest thing and they can help you or whatever, you know, it's crazy.
No, yeah, facts. So going on DJing a little bit, I wanted to like, I know you kind of like when people think about you, you're more like hip hop based.
It's crazy to hear that, but yes, I am definitely more hip hop based.
Yeah.
Now, which is weird, I can play open format. I play open format really well.
Yeah.
But my gigs that I've been thrown in as of lately have been like mostly hip hop gigs.
Yeah.
And I think it's like the switch of the street too, right? Like West is becoming, I mean, all right, here, let me approach it like this. All the spots that I'm playing at are leaning more towards hip hop or open format, right? Or like hip hop and Latin. When I first started and when I first came back to DJing, I was playing more open format. But then you have like these mega clubs opening, like you have the Mayfairs opening and Superstition, right? Yeah. So like if you're the average patron and you like EDM, right, you're gonna go to the Mayfairs and the Superstitions, right? Over, you know, the pops and the plays and, you know, like even just look at Concrete too. Like Concrete's dope, it's a dope spot. But all these newer spots are opening up that are catering more towards big venue EDM stuff, right?
Yeah.
So when those spots open, you know, most club owners are like, why are not the same crowd coming anymore?
They just don't get it.
They don't understand, right? Like they don't understand because as a patron, if I really like EDM and I really like that kind of stuff, I'm gonna go to the spot that's bigger, that's like built around a big show, right?
There's a reason the genre is called Big Room.
Right. So, and I think that's a big shift for me personally. So I love hip hop. I love EDM. I like country. Like you can catch me. I'm like a different vibe all the time. I'll play country at some of my sets at Parlay.
I want to hear that shit.
Yeah, I'll go in. I'll go in on some country.
Side note, throw a country night, a country dancing night at Parlay.
Okay.
That would be on a Wednesday or some shit. Because that's like the international. Wednesday is the international country night. Thursday is international Latin night for some reason. Right. But bro, like
I think it would be cool if we had like a country DJ come and play and like just throw down a set.
I'd be there. Because there's nothing in Austin really.
I mean, like club venue wise, not really. But you have like the Mavericks and like those kind of places. But for like a clubby vibe to like throw something down, I would love to hear that too.
That'd be fun.
So yeah, I mean, I switched more towards hip hop, right? And like a lot of the older DJs that know me know I used to play open format. Like I used to live and die by EDM. I've like forced EDM on people. Now I do it to like a certain extent, but most of my crowd's hip hop now, and it just happened kind of in the last, I don't know, year. I went like super hip hop.
Yeah.
When I was at Concrete, I played a lot more hip hop than the other DJs there. Good and bad. I would always get yelled at by somebody there. Yeah. But I brought enough people to justify playing hip hop, right? Like I would have 2 or 3 bottles sold or 2 or 3 sections sold.
And I kind of want to get with that with you, like in your opinion, like why? So like for these club owners, because there's a lot, they don't like hip hop. They don't want the crowd. They don't want anything, and I don't understand. I mean, I can kind of understand, but I don't understand why. Because it's like you're making money, like a lot of these bars, they could be making a shit ton of money, be selling a shit ton of bottles. Because at the end of the day, like, and I had this discussion with someone too, like, who's buying bottles? People are listening to hip hop. People are listening to like 90 BPM range. Like they want to hear like the shit they can kind of sing to, kind of vibe out to. I feel like the people who are buying bottles are not necessarily listening to fucking EDM and shit, because that's like people are listening to EDM, they're gonna be on Molly. They're gonna be on some type of weird ass drug, and they're not. The bar sales are ass because their water sales are fucking high as hell, and that's just how it is. Like in a lot of EDM spots, but it doesn't make sense to me.
It's all right. So touchy subject for me. Thanks for throwing this question.
My bad.
So I see it from both angles, right? Like I see hip hop sells right now. Like even if you look at like Dallas, and I mean Houston's always been on the hip hop wave, and they've always managed it, right? Like when you look at Dallas clubs that like predominantly played EDM, like they're culture shock switching to more hip hop now, right? Because there's just more money. To me, from what I've seen, right? I'm not an expert by any means, guys. You know, don't 100% take what I say with like a grain of salt. Yeah. Hip hop sells more sections at every bar I've ever been at. As of lately, like people spend more money listening to hip hop. Yeah. The girls dance to hip hop. Girls wild out to hip hop. You know, I'm not saying every girl in the world likes hip hop. I'm just saying, for the most part, from what I've seen in my experience in bars, people like listening to hip hop. I think that there is a stigma with hip hop and it making your place too, like, quote unquote hood or whatever. And track record for hood spots aren't great, right? They fizzle out faster. Yeah. More incidents happening, like that kind of stuff.
More fights, more.
Right. Yeah. And that's the stigma. And it's always been like that. It's been like that for years. Honestly, every club goes through cycles or used to go through cycles. Now I think it's different. I really think that now it's changed. But before, you would go EDM, 80s, 90s, sing along, right? And then you would slowly transition as your club got older into hip hop because people will go to the new spots. Yep. Right? The new spots are playing the exact same, but it's new. Yeah. They got better sound system. They got more lights. Yeah. The bartenders want to go to the new spot to go work. The bartenders go over there, and it slowly transitions that way. I think now in the world of influencers, kind of just to tie everything together, world of influencers, the way things working now, and again, I'm just speaking from personal experience in Texas, at other venues that I've been at, you know, all over the U.S., like, hip hop is the standard. Yeah. Right? Like, the Lives, like, all those places, like, they do so much money because they're jamming hip hop.
Heart.
Yeah. Heart in Houston crushes it.
Citizen. I mean, like, these are bottle spots.
Yeah. I mean, if you manage it correctly, right? You can be a hip hop bar and not be hood.
Easily.
You can so do it. Like, I've seen so many spots in Houston. It'll be, I'm biased to Houston, of course, right, guys? Yeah. But in Houston, you'll see like the nicest EDM spot will go and play hood music for a little bit and then get out of it. Yeah, and I love Houston. Yeah, and there's no reason why you can't do that here. Like, if you have a strong enough DJ here, especially if the club owner, like, if the club owner doesn't want hip hop, that's it, right? That's what the club owner wants. You got to listen to it. It is what it is, right?
They're the ones paying the bills. Yeah.
Right. So there should be like an equal medium between it, right? Like, I always try to do it too. Like, mostly my sets towards the last hour, I'm going in on hip hop. Yeah. But before that, like, I kind of play what I want to hear. Like, I'll play like some EDM, I'll play some like Latin house stuff, and then I'll go to hip hop, of course, and like bridge the gap to like show people different genres maybe they never heard before. Yeah. I feel like that's my job, as my responsibility as a DJ is to like curate a night that everybody's gonna have fun. Right? End of the day, you're booked to move bottles, you're booked for numbers. No matter how good our relationship is, me and you work for me, yeah, right? And you're off doing your own thing, and I'm not making any money. Yeah. Eventually, as good of friends as me and you are, I'm like, yo, bro, you don't work anymore.
It's not gonna work.
It's not gonna work. Yeah. I think there just needs to be more of a communication between promoters, owners, like, to sit down. There's not a lot of places that sit down with your promoters and DJs like on a weekly or monthly basis and just sit there and be like, this is the direction. What do you think? What do you think we can do better?
I will give a shout out, because you just said that, to Osh, because he does that.
Yeah.
They have weekly meetings for Voodoo and Chris and CRG and Melodies. They'll be pulling up all there and having their meetings, talking about how the week was and stuff. Yeah. Which runs a good business.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
100%. And we're starting to do it. And honestly, I'm taking note for Ash and them. Like, I will sit there and I talk to my DJs and I let them know exactly what's going on. Like, if it needs to be a hip hop night, if I have big tables coming in for hip hop, let's make it hip hop night. You know what I'm saying? Let's do it tastefully. Let's not get crazy in there, but let's make the bar money. Let's have the patrons have a good time. All the extra like super hood stuff, whether it's hood or whether it's not, or whether, who's to judge or whatever. But if somebody doesn't fit the profile for the club, that should be on the club and security.
Yeah.
Right? That has nothing to do with promoters or whatever the hell's going on, right? That should be on the club. Like, if a promoter, you booked a promoter and he likes hip hop and his crowd likes hip hop, cool. Talk to the promoter and be like, yo, this is our standards, this is our dress code, this is what happens in our spot.
Yeah.
I'll play hip hop all night long, but these are the guidelines you gotta go. And if they don't, just respectfully, hey man, like, you just can't come in tonight.
It's not gonna work.
Yeah.
It's simple.
It's simple. Like, I just don't see how it can ever get to like a point to where it's like such a big deal. But the track record of bars and stuff is like, that's the progress it goes. Like, once it starts getting too hood, you can't go back from it.
Yeah.
Right? But I think there's a certain way to do it. Pop, I'm really fortunate. I have a different night for everything, which is like helping out. Like I have Latin nights, I have different promoters that do different things. It's really cool. Like, if you look at Pop has like this really cool balance of people. Like, there's like everybody at Pop.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like one demographic or anything now. Like, everybody's there. Like, and everybody's vibing, everybody's having fun. I have one of every kind of promoter there on different nights, right? And one of every kind of DJ.
On Friday you got 2 promoters.
Yeah, dude, yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, it's dope. Shout out to C West, Nando, and Swag for Fridays. Fridays is like probably one of the coolest things I've seen of like a collaboration of people. And this week I have Swaggy and Choppa tomorrow. Yeah. So like, it's just multiple crowds, everybody's mixing together. Like, it's cool, man. And if you run it correctly, I think if you have clear communication with everybody, like, that's your biggest thing, man. Like, talk it out, like work it out, like whatever it is. Like, just going hip hop is not the end of your bar, especially now. Like,
and the thing with hip hop too is like, there's this shit button. It's a touchy subject for me too, because everyone thinks all I do is play Latin music, but honestly, I love hip hop. I could play hip hop for hours, and people have heard me play hip hop, and they're like, "Oh, this one." Play hip hop.
He gets down.
Yeah. So it's like, when I actually get to spin that shit, it's like, fuck, it's something different that I actually enjoy listening to. And it bugs me, because there always be the club like, bro, you're playing too much hip hop. But like, the thing is, there's certain hip hops. Like, who's to consider Drake? Is Drake ghetto?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. And people.
Right.
And certain people say like it's top 40. Certain people say, nah, it's hood hip hop. Like, you never know.
It's just like the vibe, the beat of the drum or some shit. It's like a different, like, it's more trappy, it's more hard.
Right.
Yeah, and it's just like, I can go on for this.
No, I know. I think it's a big subject for DJs, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the owner books us, right? The owner asks us to play a certain format. We play a certain format for the club. Here's the double-edged sword with it, right? And like I tell my guys too, like, I don't care really what you play as long as the energy's there. Because I've always had so many owners tell me, like, play top 40, play EDM, right?
And you say top 40, but like 21, and I think, who was it? Nardo Wick or something is in the Billboard top 40.
Right. So like, if an owner tells you that, like, what is their definition of that? You never know.
Exactly.
Right. So my thing is like, I honestly don't care what you play as long as there's energy. Like, if you're creating energy in the bar, who am I to tell you? Like, if I go and honestly, and if I go and tell you, I'm like, yo, man, it's getting a little too hood. Yeah. Right. If I say that, it's because there was a breakdown somewhere between security, between everything. Sorry. Between security, between somewhere where they're seeing something that shouldn't have happened, or this certain group shouldn't have got in, or they're being extra rowdy, right? At that portion as a DJ, you shouldn't take offense to that.
No.
Right? Like, and I know I used to big time. Like, if the owner would come up and tell me what to play, or like, yo, man, you need to change it up, like, I would like get angry Like, I was like, man, like, you don't know what you're talking about. But if you, like, sit back and you think about it, the owner's getting text from security or this table or there was a fight or this happened or that happened. If we all work together and that, you know, that's kind of the standard, right? Like the owner, if you work for the owner for like a year, 2 years, and he comes to tell you something, like, you know, you have that mutual respect for each other. You'll be like, yo, man, like, cool, like, whatever you need, let me switch it up. Work together. I think any big establishment that everybody's on the same page, everybody actually works together and, like, let your egos out of it, let whatever out of it. Mm-hmm. You're there to entertain people. You're there to make money, right? I think no matter what you're playing, like if I go in there and I have a country night on a Saturday, right? Everybody's vibing the country on Saturday. It's just some random crazy night. Everybody's listening to country. Let it happen.
Shit works.
Yeah, it's working.
Sometimes country hits, bro. No, I'm not even gonna lie. Like you get like I used to do this all the time. Like every time I heard a country song, that is the easiest way to get to a girl.
Oh, straight up.
Easiest. Like what's more awkward? Going up to a girl and just randomly like just having start going up and acting like she's gonna like twerk on you and shit, or just being like, "Hey, you want to dance?"
Right.
What's more like a girl's gonna feel way more safer, way more like calmer with that. So that's like when I hear country. Well, back in the day. This is back in the day, not now. But back in the day,
public service announcement.
PSA. Hold on.
This is back in the day.
let me get that straight. But like, and when I used to hear that shit, it was like, oh, game on. Where's the cutest girl? Let me go ask her.
Yeah,
easy. Instead of because I just didn't feel comfortable with all that, like going up to a girl and being like that. It's like that's not one. It's not respectful, and two, it's just like you might get slapped.
Right.
You know, it's just weird.
But I think it's the vibe. Like, our responsibility as DJs, as club owners, everything is to create a vibe, right? Yeah. If that vibe is hip hop, if that vibe is EDM, if that vibe is anything, as long as you have like a safe environment for people, I honestly don't think that music itself is going to dictate whether your club is popping or dead or whatever. Your club lives and dies by vibes. Yes. If you create a vibe, right, and stronger DJs are going to be able to create a vibe out of nothing. Yeah. Stronger DJs are going to be able to show you an experience that you didn't even know you wanted to hear. Yeah. Like, my biggest thing now, like, I'm messing with, like, international music and, like, Afro beats and stuff because I get bored. I get bored of playing the same stuff. Like, I get bored of playing hip-hop all night, or I get bored of playing Latin all night, or even if I'm mixing between those three, like, I want to do something different to, like, inspire me. Yeah. You know? So I've been messing around with a whole bunch of stuff. Bro, I was looking at Arabic music last night. Like,
that shit hits, bro.
There's some of those remixes that hit. Bro. Yeah, so I was looking at that last night. Like, it's your responsibility to introduce music to people. Mm-hmm. I think at the end of the day, right, as a DJ, you want to show them something they didn't know they wanted to hear. Yeah. Right? Create a vibe for the club, right? Make the bar money. Negotiate and talk with your owners and your managers and stuff, and, like, just be on the same page. There's nothing wrong with getting a text message from a GM and be like, yo, can we switch it up for a little bit? Like, don't let your ego get in the way. Like, you know, like, just flow with it. Cool, I'll switch it up for a little bit. What do you think? It
should be as easy as that, but
it should be like that. Like, it really should be like that. Just be easy but a lot of egos get in the way. You know, I'm such and such DJ. You know, I'm fucking DJ Blitz. I should be able to play whatever the fuck I want to play. Exactly. You know, I'm the owner of this bar. You got to listen to me. Yeah. Like, it's all how you approach people and you talk about it. Like, and all that will feed into your bar. Like, that will kill a vibe. Yeah. Like, even if like nobody hears that, like, that tension, that, like, aura will feed into the bar, and the bar will do less money.
But same with, like, club owners too, because, and since you are a club owner, it's definitely like you can hit both worlds. So you are definitely you have more bias because you know both worlds. Right. As some club owners who have never DJed a day in their life, they do got to realize that, like, sometimes when we have an entire crowd that is on the, like, granted something happens and that means if they say don't play hip hop, we'll play something a little easier, you know, maybe like Players by Coil Ray, like
Bridge the Gap, Bridge the Gap, like. But I've seen it too. Like, I know, like, club owners get beat up so much. Like, I beat up club owners a lot, right? Yeah. And being on the other side of it, like, right, and like being on the other side of it, you know, I'm like, man, like, if I see a night and I'm like, yo, like, it's sketchy in here, right? Not necessarily DJ's fault, but like I said, stuff broke down throughout the night for us to get there, right? It's my responsibility. It's my spot, my liability. You know, I make money off this, right? I need to be able to change directions, and it might hurt somebody's feelings, it might not. But I normally tell my guys, like anybody that works for me, I might be mean, I might blow up at you or whatever, right? But at the end of the day, that was just that instance. I'll apologize at the end of it. It
happens.
Yeah, like there's just so much stuff going on. There's alcohol involved. There's everything involved. But at the end of the day, like if y'all don't talk to each other, like you're never gonna create a vibe. You'll never, ever, ever create a vibe.
But like you came out, well, it all comes down to how you tell someone something. Because I've definitely had some club owners where I've like wanted to fight on deck, and I had to literally bite my tongue almost off of my body because I'm just like, oh, fuck. Yeah. And I had to like, and people have seen it. I like a couple people like, yo, you good? I'm like, just don't talk to me right now, bro. Yeah.
Shit, I've been there, man.
Yeah, facts.
I've been there. It'll be like the end of the night. I'm getting chewed out, and I'm like, yo, man, if you just would have talked to me, and it's like, no, I'm the fucking owner, blah blah blah.
It's
blah,
that entitlement for everything, bro.
You know, and I'm like, yo, I'm not a little dude, homie. You know what I'm saying? So your security left about an hour ago. So
I might be little, but fuck, I scrapped. I mean, shit. Like,
but yeah, man, I think club owners get beat up a lot. Yeah, I think your experienced club owners that have been in the industry for a long time, they understand like what's going on. Yeah, I don't think hip hop's bad. I know that might be biased because I am quote unquote hip hop DJ now. Hip hop's not bad. I think hip hop sells as much, if not more, than anything else. Right?
Fucking does, bro.
Hip hop's not the end of your club. It's not like your club's dying to play hip hop. Yeah. The culture's different now, right? Like you have, just like when DJing started, right? DJing were a bunch of nerds playing records in their house, right? And then they're rock stars now. Yeah. Right? Culture shift. EDM was big back in the day, right? Now more stuff's leaning towards hip hop. Everything's branding towards hip hop. You know, you have influencers, you have all this stuff. Most of that stuff is hip hop based. Yeah. So people want to listen to hip hop. You know, like you can have like the dorkiest dude, dorkiest girl want to listen to hip hop, right? You can have the tech giant listen to hip hop.
Yeah, the nerdiest motherfuckers screaming a milli, and they be quoting the whole fucking song, and I'm just like, see, that's that shit. And I remember, you know, I found out about Lil Baby. Bro, from white people, little frat kids, like legit, like frat kids always. I was like, I didn't even know who Lil Baby was until like, you know, when he first came out. And then people just like, play Lil Baby, play Lil Baby. And these are frat guys. Yeah. Like fratty. They're like, these are UT, top of the class, nerdy ass. Some of
the hoodest songs I've ever like downloaded because I never knew were from frat parties and stuff like that. Exactly, bro. And even sororities. Like some of the hoodest stuff, like I didn't even know existed. Yeah. You know, and I got it from frat parties.
And that's why people like, when people are like, what do white people listen? They listen to hip hop, my guy. They listen to more hood shit than most of the people buying bottles. Like, you don't realize that people don't realize it's everybody listens to this shit. Yeah. It's not like always just.
But it's cool when you curate sets. Like, look at what CRG and Co Chris and J Melodies and them are doing at Parlor and what they were doing at Bungalow when Bungalow's around, right? They would curate a whole night and like it's like sing along shit, it's like hip hop shit. Like that to me shows more skill than anything else, that you can throw a whole 4-hour set and you can be all over the map and everybody's enjoying it. Yeah. You know, like
it's open format, it's open format gigs, and that's why it's like they do really well at Parlor for that. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah. I mean, they play a little bit of everything. And honestly, like even if you talk to like hip hop promoters, they're like, yo, if you vibe it out like Parlor, I don't care what you play. Literally, they're like, my whole crowd, I don't care what you play. Just vibe it out like they do at Parlor. And that shout out to all them, man. Like, it's great. Like
they grew that shit for real.
Yeah, no, 100%, man. And it's cool to watch. And that's why, like, when I hear that about the hood thing or that, like, if you have conversations, like I had conversations with every promoter that's been everywhere. Yeah. If you talk to them, they're like, yo, just create a vibe. If the vibe is right, we're good.
Yeah, and it drives me crazy. I've heard this a couple times the past few weeks. Like, I've had some of these people tell me, like, yo, like, we might not make any money, but we will, just because we just don't want you to play that genre. And it just, like, hearing that bugs me, because you don't realize it's like, okay, but you got to realize you're not hurting. The people who are hurting are the bartenders, the door guys, me. Well, not really, because I get a set rate, but if I get cut, I mean, I'm getting hurt.
Well, I mean, it does hurt everybody, right? Yeah. Like, I think
because they could have multiple businesses.
It hurts you too, right? Like, I think it hurts you too, because like if let's say somebody from out of town comes in and
Facts.
they were throwing an event and they see you and yo, you're a great DJ, but the first thing they're gonna look at is at the club's video.
He's nobody in there.
Yeah.
And then it's because I can't play a certain genre that everybody on the street is so happening to want to go see.
Yeah.
Yo, it sucks, bro. But it's just, sometimes that's why it is like, and that's why a lot of DJs move around too. Because I'm going to be honest, like there's some spots where I'm like, I don't know if I want to DJ there anymore. Because it's just like, one, I'm restricted as a DJ, which sucks. You know, as a DJ, we want to be free.
Right.
We want to be able to play like what we know, like you said. We want to play what the crowd wants to hear. And if there's no crowd because of a certain restriction that we have, it hurts us. It does.
Hurts everybody, to be honest.
It's just
nonsense. Like I said, end all be all, whoever owns whatever establishment, they can do whatever they want, right? There is a bigger picture there you need to see. But, I mean, everybody has their own reasons for doing it, right? Like,
Facts.
So, can't hate on anybody for trying whatever they want to try. You know?
And all we can do is hope. And like I said, you know, it's just everything does come around and everything does end up being good for the most part. If you have a good team, good communication, and a strong, you know, willpower.
Yeah.
So like anything is possible.
Yeah, for sure.
But shit. We're going to end the podcast on that note.
Right, that got deep for a second.
Yeah, that got deep. We were about to...
They had some roots real quick, man.
Yeah.
But.
Hey, I wanted to. That's why I wanted to get there.
Yeah.
But is there anything else you want to tell like the world?
No, man. That's really it. I mean, come
40 subscribers.
Right. I mean, you know, if you want to hear, I have some amazing DJs at Pop. There's amazing DJs in Austin, period. You know, we shout out almost everybody on this thing. And if we missed you, it's no ill will or anything like that. We're running this off the dome, off the fly. Appreciate everybody, man. I appreciate the industry. Appreciate everybody who supports me, that supports us. Thank y'all, man. That's how all this works. So,
all right, we out. Peace.